Episode 169. The two began to fight, and what surprised Tang Ru even more was that her opponent immediately launched into a full force, aggressive assault. He was using the very same all-out, mutually destructive style he'd employed against Ye Xiu the day before. His movements were unpredictable and lightning fast. The sheer frequency of the movement alone was overwhelming for Tang Ru, keeping up with rapid repositioning demands equally swift camera control. For a novice like Tang Ru, lacking in experience, this was a fatal flaw. Wang Jixi's 100 Blossoms style onslaught left Tang Ru utterly defenseless. This is the gap between a top glory god and a rookie. There was no suspense, no need for any opportunity. Tang Ru was defeated, the time a mere 27 seconds. This was a benchmark Ye Xiu had once estimated, and it was the same level of skill Tang Ru had recognized as truly formidable after watching the match where Blazing Fire's End and Lord Grimm took each other out. It was so incredible, it left you speechless. Tang Ru was now completely reminded of her first encounter with Ye Xiu. Against such a formidable opponent, a drawn-out struggle was pointless. The gap between them was simply too vast. So vast she couldn't even fathom how to bridge it. Tang Ru sat silently in the arena. She gazed quietly at her character Cold Miss Gentle. The world was truly vast. The glory she once thought was so simple all. From Ye Xiu to this team now, they could toy with her effortlessly. These were the true masters. How pathetic, thinking I was so great just because I helped Chen Go beat a few opponents he couldn't handle. Looking back now, I really was like a frog in a well. The voice from the other side suddenly cut through Tang Ru's train of thought.
Not coming back for another round.
Again, what's the point? The gap is just too big.
The gap is only temporary. You've got real potential.
Thank you.
Tang Ru smiled. Whether it was just consolation or a polite compliment, she wouldn't be rude.
Have you ever thought about going pro?
The Pro League.
That's right, the Pro League.
Also, you're pro players.
That's right, we're from Team Tiany Herb. If possible, I'd like to extend a formal invitation to you right now, to invite you to our club for a trial.
Although Wang Jiexi was the team captain, his authority didn't extend to the club's personnel decisions. No matter how promising a talent he saw, he could only do his best to recommend them to the club. The club might listen to his opinion to a large extent, but the final decision was never his to make. That went for the captain of any team, too.
Team Tiany Herb, what's that?
Tang Ru was momentarily at a loss. His knowledge of the Glory Pro Alliance was truly shallow. That last match was the first full game he'd watched in ages. The name Tiany Herb sounded vaguely familiar to Tang Ru, but she truly couldn't recall its origin. Of course, he also knew that asking now, that would be very rude, so he simply replied calmly.
Thank you. I don't think that will be necessary.
Wang Jiexi was taken aback. He couldn't believe this girl could answer so calmly, and what's more, she was turning down the Pro League. Just those 4 words alone would be enough to drive any Glory fan wild. To be called up by the Pro League, that was a dream most Glory players wouldn't even dare to have. And it was a personal trial invitation from the captain of the champion team, Tiany Herb himself. This was unprecedented, and so his very first move met with this stubborn, unyielding resistance. Tang Ru's reaction left Wang Jiexi momentarily at a loss for words. Fortunately, Tang Ru continued her calm explanation.
I'm perfectly content with my life as it is, and I have no intention of changing it.
What kind of life are you living now?
那咖啡 girl.
Tang Ru smiled. She hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but she'd still heard Ye Xiu's definition of her from yesterday. An internet cafe girl. Wang Jiexi was even more speechless. How can a life like that compare to being a pro gamer?
All right, you've beaten me. You can go challenge the others now. I'll stay right here in this room, sending the rest of your team.
So what's the point of you fighting us like this?
Wang Jiexi didn't say it was actually because he kept getting beaten by us.
To improve our skills, to play better.
To get better. And then what?
Then, just better. What else is there?
This girl's mind was on a completely different wavelength from his. Wang Jiexi felt deeply embarrassed. This girl had exceptional mental fortitude, and her hand speed was nothing to scoff at. In short, her hardware is fully up to spec. All she needs now is the right software. Ye Qiu's eye for talent is truly ruthless. Tang Ru is truly a rare talent. Even their team's prodigy, Zhao Yingji, has the technical skill down. His technical skill keeps improving, but his mental fortitude is still a long way off. This lack of mental fortitude isn't just a problem for Glory Pros. It's a chronic ailment plaguing the entire esports scene. The simple truth is, esports pros start young. Kids like Gao Yingji are already competing at the pro level. Such young minds are not yet fully formed, so their mental fortitude naturally falls far short of an adult's. Even top-tier esports players in their prime are mostly around 20 years old. Impatience and a quick temper are practically the mainstream mindset in the world of esports. As for this girl named Tang Ru, Wang Jiexi had already noticed her yesterday. She'd lost 10 matches in a row, and all 10 were for merciless beatdowns at the hands of their team of pro players. But in the 11th match against him, she remained calm and composed, showing no sign of panic or discouragement. All you could see was his effort, his relentless, grinding effort. Wang Jiexi was quite surprised. He'd asked the team members privately today, and none of them had much of an impression of this girl. No one had even thought to record a match against a rookie like that. But with Wang Jiexi's repeated prompting, some of the team members did eventually make an effort to recall the match, ultimately confirming his assessment of Tang Ru. Tang Ru is absolutely a diamond in the rough. Ye Qiu had clearly noticed this as well. And it seemed he'd already beaten him to the punch. But at this point, Ye Qiu was already a retired veteran player, and for now, could only serve as a mentor. I thought that once I mentioned a formal pro league offer, he'd be mine for the taking. Who could have guessed that now that I've said it, the other party's reply would be so calm? This mental fortitude is a bit too rock solid.
You know, you should really think it over again.
If you change your mind, you can find me anytime.
Wang Jiexi didn't want to push too hard at this moment. He realized he'd acted too rashly this time. I should have learned more about his background first. But honestly, you can't blame Wang Jiexi. Who would have thought a Glory player would have zero reaction to a call from the pro scene, even if that person was just a rookie?
Alright, thanks.